What I want members of Parliament to do, and expect members of Parliament to do, and I expect that they wish to do, is to focus on the choice that lies in front of them when they come to that debate and to that motion. And as I said in the House of Commons the other day, throughout this process, people have been telling me we wouldn't reach this point. As soon as we do reach this point, people want to say, oh, well, if you don't get it, what are you going to do next? I'm focusing on getting this because I believe it's the right deal for the United Kingdom.
British Prime Minister Theresa May has ruled out a Norway-style trade agreement with the EU as an alternative to a no-deal departure from the bloc. The statement comes amid increasing speculation that her Chequers plan, despite being approved by Brussels, will not make it through the House of Commons, with many pro-Brexit factions of both the Conservatives and Labour claiming that a deal which would see the UK remain in the customs union with the EU is too soft. So with Chequers on its last legs, Norway and Canada's system ideas struggling to gain traction, and a huge amount of scaremongering surrounding no deal and reverting to WTO rules, how do we solve a problem like Brexit? Political campaigner Michael Swadling argued that the Chequers plan will likely not be approved by the British Parliament and that a no-deal Brexit would be an ideal outcome.
It's really hard to see how it happens. A large chunk of the Conservative Party are now against it. The DUP, Labour, SNP, Lib Dems. There's no one saying they are. The only chance is if she puts the Conservatives to truly be a party in office but not in power, and they somehow effectively bribe the Labour Party to support them. I wouldn't put it past her, but it would truly be the end of the Conservative Party for a generation. Well, there is no no-deal Brexit. There's revert to WTO terms. We become one of the 270-odd countries in the world outside the EU. Some of them are quite successful. You may have heard of the US, China, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. These are successful, prosperous countries. We can trade perfectly well outside the EU on WTO terms. That's actually what we voted for. We voted to leave the EU. Theresa May has decided that leaving the EU means actually staying in it and becoming a vassal state. No, we voted to leave the EU, and that's simply what should happen.
Michael Swadling also believed that under different leadership the government would have already delivered Brexit and that the Prime Minister will still try and attempt to cling on to power for as long as possible.
Had we had a leader who just sat there and done nothing, I think we could have avoided this situation. Once we revoked Article 50, the plan was straightforward. We leave. If you wanted to soften the plan, if you like, or improve the WTO terms is a better way of putting it, and sign a Canada Plus type deal, that would be fantastic. But you don't have to. You can just leave and revert to WTO terms. Anyone doing anything would have been better than this. Theresa May has quite deliberately gone out to shackle our nation to the EU empire. She's gone out to squander £39 billion of our money, and she's gone out to eviscerate our parliament of any power and our democracy of any meaning. It's hard to think what she could possibly have done that would be worse. There's no indication. If you managed to lose an election you didn't need to call, you then managed to put forward this plan, you lose half your cabinet, and you still haven't taken the hint that, frankly, you're not up to the job. I don't imagine anything could happen that would make her think she needs to resign. You just hope that the Conservative Party has one or two more people of courage. They seem not to have it at the moment, but enough to force a vote of confidence in her and actually reject her.
Brexit negotiations have no doubt descended into farce over the past 2 years, and the British public are rightly losing their patience with an utterly incompetent leader in Theresa May. Daniel Rowell, Radio Sputnik.